Can make me talk this morning.
And you didn't like Umeru being on the bench for Awazim as well.
Precisely. Come on, that guy. Okay. We'll talk about differential elections now. We don't want to go back to that.
No,
I've not recovered still. I told you until they were able to beat Cameroon. That's when I'll recover. And beat Cameroon. Okay, very well. Now we'll talk about the Federation's elections. It's still reactions still coming in from there. This morning we'll listen to Mary Yali. And after that, Kayode Tijani will be joining us to talk more on this.
Contested today and lost. What can you make of the electoral process?
It's fair. It's fair, and I thank the Honorable Minister, the NOC, and everybody that is involved in putting this together. I think this is the first time, actually, that Nigeria is finally getting it right. Democratically, everybody was here, from east, west, north, and south. Everybody represented their country, their states and their zones, respectively. And although there was a little bit of scuffle here and there, but eventually we got it together, because that's what election is all about.
Let's look at going forward for athletics with this new board. Do you have confidence in them?
Oh yes, definitely. If I didn't have confidence in this board, I wouldn't even try to run. I know that I may or may not win, because election is something you don't know until the last minute. Now that the election is over, the people that are on board are actually pure and real stakeholders. These are the people that have sponsored, won the shoes, or have been in the lives, in and out of life of athletics for a very long time. So they know what it means to get our athletes back on the podium, because that's what we've been missing for a long time. And I've been listening to our new president talk about how he's going to get the sports back on track, that his main focus is going to be going back to the basics, which is basically grassroots. Grassroots program is my niche. That's where I thrive. Now, I'm not the vice president. I didn't get the vice president position, but it does not take me away from the AFN, because that's my life. It's my blood. I will always be relevant one way or the other to the board. So congratulations to everybody that.
Welcome back. Now let's talk about the Federation's elections. And of course, we have Kayode Tijani in the studio. Good morning and good to have you here.
Good morning, lovely to be here.
Okay.
It's great to have you.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of issues
Let's
now.
go straight to the chase, right?
Give me first.
I mean, your general overview of the old elections, the petitions, the protests, and the build-up to it. So, I mean, what do you make of all of that?
Well, I mean, we've moved a decade back.
Oh.
In progress. We moved back. It's a tragedy, to say the least. Because everybody all over the world are going to be looking at us and like, you know what? What is happening here? You tell me. Let me push it back to you. When last did you remember all this noise, all stories coming from any country? No, I'm not talking about Europe or Americas, or I'm talking about Africa. Togo, Ghana, Benin Republic, and all this, some of the small countries. When last did you hear about all these kind of fights about their federation elections?
I can't remember.
So that's the problem.
I haven't heard.
Nobody talks about them. They go seamless. The regulations are straightforward. Nobody's changing anything. Everybody, conservatively, about 80% of those who are involved in this election are in it for the money.
But we have some former governors. We have a Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, for instance. I mean, he's elected. We have a honorable.
He will be elected because he has the money.
Elected. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Mary Yali,
okay.
NFL Kudobo, we can keep counting all the former athletes, will not win. They do not have money. It's like me contesting for an election. Where is the money?
Oh, okay.
There's no chance at all.
Not one percentage of it.
Okay, that's the case of Kayode Thomas, right?
Yeah, Kayode Thomas is a journalist, so he's not a money bag.
Okay, all right.
He did not stand any chance from the beginning.
What you've just said is a bit damning. When you say it's a setback, it's a 10.
Oh yeah, it is because you see the way it works is I think we should talk about solutions first.
Okay.
Because we were talking about all the anomalies are legendary.
Okay.
In quotes.
We don't want to go into that.
Solution is no, I will.
Okay.
But let's talk about solution because of time.
Okay.
And the solution is very simple. All over the world, I was in England for years. Then at the last Olympic Games, I got a lot of documents. The documents were very clear. The government puts money in there only for elite sports.. In 1996, Nigeria won far more medals than Great Britain. were shining. Choma's gold, football, lots of silvers at the Olympic Games. So Great Britain was far, far down. 20 years later, they are second to USA now. It was a plan. They decided then that, you know what, this is what we're going to do. So, and they spend money.
Loads.
Government is supposed to spend money, but they can only ask you, this federation or associations, to account for the money they gave you. They have no reason to interfere. The sports minister has no business of any sort interfering. It was a big error. Every Olympic here, Commonwealth Games, World Athletics Championship in Great Britain, if they give athletics, boxing, if they give athletics 20 million today, is that just an example?
Yeah.
And athletics win 2-3 medals. Next time, they are getting 80. It goes, the more you win, the more you get. For all the sports, I have all the documents. But in here, things are just not the same. Look at this election, is a sham, terrible. 2 elections for basketball in Kano.
You have
another one in Abuja.
You have candidates,
fighting, beating each other.
Names disappearing on the day of elections.
And again, candidates should be blamed too. Okay. It's not just about the authorities. Candidates who were told, you know what, deadline. What's the meaning of deadline in the first place? A deadline is supposed to be January 10th.